Hi lovely, today we're talking about why you need to ditch your perfect man list and what to do instead. If you don't know me, my name is Olga Botcherev. I'm a relationships coach and advanced Faster EFT practitioner. And this topic is way overdue because I have so many questions about this particular exercise and why is it important. And literally this week I got a message from a client who talked about how she felt overwhelmed and she just felt very anxious about writing this down, and how she had a coach in the past who told her to throw away the man list. So I wanted to get some clarity about this particular exercise, why is it important, and how to do it properly. So first of all, guys, I want you to understand that there is a huge difference between the man list and what I like to call relationship intentions. Now, if you have a resistance to writing the list, it could be because you're not doing it right and you didn't have proper guidance on how to put this together. If you've been following me for a while, you're probably starting to understand how to do this right. But this video has been created for both my current client and anybody who's on a journey to attract a conscious, deep, loving, lasting relationship into their life, so they have a very clear directions on how to do this right. So first thing that I want you to understand, that if you don't know what you want, you cannot get what you want, right? Most people don't get what they want because they don't know what they want, or they're not clear enough, we'll talk about it in just a second, on what is it that you want so they can actually manifest it. Now, there is a huge difference between intentions and values and feelings versus what I call features and more of a surfacey characteristics of what you desire. So let's say, for example, you want to manifest a certain house and a wedding and just the kind of man who, a certain look or height, or he has, this color of the eyes, or maybe he's certain nationality, and some of the things might be important to you. But what I want to encourage you is to start looking a little bit deeper. And the kind of women that come to me, they actually looking for a soulful, heartfelt connection with the man who actually is fulfilling and deep and has a personality that matches the kind of woman they are. Now, what I mean by that is deeper values. So let's talk about difference. If you're writing specifically what kind of wedding you have, what kind of colors you have on your wedding, what kind of house, the car, the color of the car, and your life with that man, if you're writing down things like how tall he is, how much money he makes, and it's not to say that it's not important, or maybe what kind of clothing he wears, you might be missing the point. What I would love for you to focus on is more of how you want to feel in that relationship, because that's what energetically attract the kind of relationship you want. Now, I sat down and I wrote down this list in 2017 in January, and 6 months later, I met a guy who is my husband now and who is actually a wonderful person and a wonderful man, and we are madly in love and things are really, really great. Now, before that, I was in a marriage for 10 years. So here's something interesting. I also manifested my husband, my first husband, about 10 years ago. But all what I asked is that I want to be married. And I'm married to someone who is not a good fit for me, who didn't understand me, we didn't connect, we barely even talked. And that's because I wasn't clear on what kind of marriage I want. Now, once I've gotten clear, universe said, oh, okay, right, I understand what you want now. And there you go. So I want to give you an example, and I'm actually going to read my list of what I wrote in February 2017, right? I call it my soulmate, but you can call it anything you want. Now, I'm going to encourage my clients from now on, call it relationship intentions. So it doesn't get confused with a very surfacey, with a very rigid and very ineffective man list that people misunderstand what this exercise is about. So here's what I wrote. I said, I'm in a relationship with someone where I feel safe, connected, and luxurious. My partner is emotionally and financially mature. He's most likely an entrepreneur. He treats me with respect, kindness, attention, and care. By nature, he's generous, both with his attention, money, and in bed. He's absolutely adore both my strong personality and fun, playful side. He makes me feel understood, connected, present, sexy, and smart. When we are together, our conversation flows naturally, and often we finish each other's sentences. He takes good care of himself and makes his well-being, both physical and emotional, a priority. His motto is learn and grow. He's not afraid to talk about past and have very high level of self-awareness. He's a very wise man. He learned a lot in his life, and I learn a lot from him. I admire him. We take good care of each other. We're both good listeners and interested in learning more about each other. So it's going on and on for another 2 pages, and I'm getting goosebumps as I'm even reading this because it has depth and it has the level of feeling and value that I wanted to attract. And it's also it's kind of a little scary, but it's very, very close to the kind of man that came into my life only 6 months after the divorce. And I only dated for about 2 months before this kind of man appeared. Now, imagine for a second that you would focus on some other things like the look or maybe some other features like the kind of car he drives or the kind of apartment that he lives in. You would miss an opportunity to manifest something absolutely beautiful and deep into your life. So I want you to kind of be open to this exercise, and I want you to understand how important it is to get clear. And another reason, if you don't get clear, that man can come into your life, that person can be in your life, and you would not even see them. You would push him away, which is almost what happened with me. Because the very first day I went with Ernie, he actually didn't look like the kind of guy I normally would date. But thank God I was working with Faster EFT practitioner at that time who said, Olga, go date other people, right? And so I did, and so we had, really good date. But it's not until the second and the third date when I started to recognize the things that I really want, I actually might be able to find in that person. And so as you're putting this list together, I want you to start noticing what things are surfacey and artificial and what things are the one that your whole heart and soul desires and ready to bring into your life because you are on the same level of consciousness. Now, let's talk about why people avoid this exercise so much. Now, first of all, if you're feeling anxious and worried and you just kind of feel a lot of resistance to doing it, it's perfectly normal. The reason why is probably because in the past you've done something like this and it didn't work. Or it kind of sort of worked and you attracted somebody and he looked like he was a good guy, but then, a couple of days later he was a jerk. Or maybe you've been with somebody and you got betrayed. There is a number of good reasons why you're feeling this feelings right now. And I wanted to encourage you to give it a little bit of attention. Don't run away from it. Don't pretend like they're not there. Don't push through this exercise, but rather notice what is it that's surfacing up. Because this is such a juicy, beautiful information for you to tap on and to clear so you can actually move forward and meet the kind of people, both men and women, who are good for you in this life. And so what we're going to do together, guys, we're going to do a quick round of tapping. And if you're not familiar with tapping, totally fine. It's a very simple exercise, but it's very helpful in releasing emotional charge and releasing triggers that behind things that we know we need to do, but we're not doing it because of all this luggage and all of this emotion that we're bringing in. Ready? Alrighty, guys. So first of all, get excited. There is a right, wonderful man for you out there. And it's my heart's desire that you meet him and you be together in a way where 1 + 1 = 100, which means this planet is a better place because you're together, right? The co-creative relationship, not codependent. So close your eyes for just a second. Notice if you have any resistance to doing this. And maybe it's in your body, maybe you're saying something, maybe they had a coach in the past who talked you out of this exercise, maybe you had some kind of misunderstanding. Now as you're getting more clarity, just step into this, breathe in, notice any fear, anxiety, or resistance. Take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. Take 2 fingers, tap between your eyes. Again, if you've never done it, just follow along, super easy. It's EFT, emotional freedom technique, Faster EFT tapping, all the same thing. And just say this feeling, the resistance of doing this. I'm afraid that I do it wrong, attract the wrong person, or I do not know what to write, I don't know where to start. How would I know the difference between the surface and the deep? I release and let it go. It's safe for me to relax. It's safe for me to want what I want. I want the kind of person, and that's where you can put in your own words or you can follow along, because many times those features are very similar in the kind of woman that I work with. I want to be with a man who is emotionally intelligent and financially intelligent, who is deep, who is a good listener, who I can connect with on a deeper level. So we are compatible, easy to get along with. He takes good care of himself, and he adores me. You want to spoil me? You want to take good care of me? You want to support me? And I'm worthy and deserving of this kind of relationship, because they're not just good for me, and they're not just good for him, they're actually good for this planet. It's all start with me. It's all start with the family unit or with our relationship unit. I only can make an impact on this planet when I heal myself. I only can give to others to an extent that I give to myself. So it's safe for me to sit down and write down this list. And it's safe for me to release any resistance, any worries, any fear around this. I'm worthy and deserving of receiving love and abundance. Wonderful, wonderful. Go ahead and grab your wrist. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Say word peace. Beautiful. If you have any questions about this exercise, feel free to reach out and let me know. You can comment below this post. You can send me an email. Now, I am actually hosting a webinar very, very soon, and I would love for you to come over and join us, because I'll be talking about this exercise and help you out with this process and other steps that I personally took and help many, many other clients to take to manifest a good for them partner. So if this is something on your list for 2020 or whenever you're watching this video, please come join us. I would love to have you over. I'll make sure that there is a link before this video so you can opt in. It's called A Path of Finding Real Love, a conscious woman guide to creating or attracting healthy and lasting relationships. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the webinar.